That's Jennifer, she said. That's from Lloyd Cole and the Commotions.
Isn't that the most jingly, jangly, lovely song
It's
about
a great
getting
song.
ink?
It's getting ink?
Yeah, it's a song about getting a tattoo. Jennifer, we can't go wrong, let's put it in writing. It's about getting a tattoo of a girl's name and then going, that's gone horribly wrong. I've sort of gone off her. which does happen. But if you're listening to this and you're 14, you'll never go off that band. Yeah. Get the tattoo.
They're brilliant.
You'll be fine.
Fantastic.
Tell your mum and dad you don't understand.
Jimmy Carr is with us. Jimmy, you're kind of British, you're Irish, you're prolific.
I believe plastic paddy is the PC term we're using now. It's what's on my passport.
Yeah.
My Irish passport, I would add.
You've got an Irish passport?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Have you?
I had Irish parents.
Yes.
And then,
Were you born in Limerick or were your parents from Limerick?
Parents from Limerick.
From Limerick, okay.
So I'm once removed.
Okay.
Look what you can do if you apply yourselves.
Right. The reason I played Lloyd Cole, by the way,
that took a while, didn't it? There's a time delay on that. I know it's early in the morning, but come on, keep up.
We have a special button here. There is a kind of a time delay thing on it.
Right, no, go on.
The reason I played Lloyd Cole is because some people say that you look a little bit like him. And you may have noticed our sports reporter earlier on, Paul Collins, you also look a little bit like him.
I think I look a little bit like Roger Federer after a car crash.
Right.
Like, been quite serious reconstructive surgery done, but you go, oh my God, what happened to him? He used to be so... Oh, never mind. Come in.
So you mentioned you were born, anyway.
Yes, let's start there.
Now, you were born on this very day.
In a crossfire hurricane. Yes, 15th September. It's
36 years ago.
Yeah, literally my birthday today.
Well, let's do it then. Happy birthday.
Let's not get... Surely. Did you get me a cake? That's adorable. You got me a cake with candles on it. Not the right number. Right, I'll blow these out. You actually got me a cake. That's the sweetest thing in the world. I don't know if you've been making radio long, but I don't know how that will read. That'll just be a man going... That is such a sweet thing. Thank you so much. Yeah, I don't normally make a big fuss of my birthday, but I will. That's about 4,000 calories. Maybe I'll just eat that and have a bit of a cry. Like a fat goth girl.
Jimmy, you're very welcome. And how did it go last night? Everything okay?
It's an amazing town to play. Yeah. Dublin, just because the audiences, the show is literally, each half of the show is 10 minutes longer in Dublin.
Why is that?
But just because the audience are more up for it and people do join in a bit more. I love that about playing here. Like sometimes you'll play places, you'll do Tunbridge Wells, the most English of English towns, and people will enjoy the show and they will laugh at all the right places. But it's very mannered. It's much more of a theatrical tradition.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the show you get a big applause, but people don't really kind of join in all the way through. Whereas here you feel like, there's always a couple of, knackers from Cavan who are willing to get stuck in. No offence to your production staff.
But you mentioned before we actually came on the air there that people go and see your show, but they don't buy your DVDs.
In Ireland?
Yeah.
No, in the UK, I'm fine.
I know, you do okay.
I realise you're worried for my financial security. Things will be okay. But no, in Ireland, we've never sold any DVDs, or I've never sold any DVDs. No, but I think I think that's great, actually. I like the way that the Irish DVD market works, because I always come over, this time of year, and then I come over again sort of close to Christmas to see family and friends, and I'll buy the Irish DVDs. So I've got, Des Bishops and Tommy Tiernan's that wouldn't do so well in the UK. And it's great that you've got your own market for them. But no, mine is...
You've got a new one coming out. Well, let's test the theory now, because you have a new one coming out in November. And this is Joke Technician, is that what it's called?
No, that's the name of the tour. This one's called In Concert. I've kept the DVD titles very simple. I don't want to confuse someone's nana in the shops.
Okay.
The first one was called Live, then the second one was called Live, the second one was Stand Up, the third one was Comedian, and the fourth one's In Concert. So if you put them on a shelf, it says Live, Stand Up, Comedian, In Concert. It couldn't be simpler.
Okay, and then the box...
How anal is that?
When you do the box set,
that's
then it'll
OCD.
just all go together. Fantastic.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's coming out in November, and we'll test it. We'll keep an eye on that one and see how it goes. Well, you were talking about audiences, and one of the things that I saw you do, you're looking at me there funny.
That's just my face.
Okay.
You're thinking, wow, what a brilliant game against Murray last week. That's what you're thinking.
Pity about the car crash.
Yeah. I've never been interviewed by someone. The interviewer's actually said, "You're looking at me funny." Are you trying to start a fight in a pub car park?
I'm not. You were mentioning audiences, and you were saying that, the rules are. I thought that was quite interesting, where you tell the joke, and then they laugh. And then they can give you a round of applause if you like. You tell us that about that.
Well, no, I mean, it was a comment, feed line, punchline, laugh. That's the way sort of stand-up works, and that's what people are expecting. Yeah. And it's amazing how many times you can pull that trick. Because the feed line, they think, he's telling us a piece of, hang on, he was joking. Yeah. And then the surprise, you laugh. It's that thing as well about when you do edgier stuff, and there's lots of edgier stuff in this tour and on this DVD. When you do edgy stuff and people kind of go, ooh.
Yeah.
Now, I've always said to audiences, you can laugh, or you can go, ooh. What you can't do is laugh and then go, ooh.
Having looked around to see if everybody else has approved or
I got great reaction to a joke actually over the weekend.
Yeah.
I was chatting to David Williams is over doing a play, and we went out to have tea, and we were chatting about kind of, because I do this thing at the end of the show where I say, what's the most offensive joke in the world? Let's see, shall we? And then just rack it up in terms of offence and sort of, areas that people maybe wouldn't joke about normally. And I thought, well, I'll throw in an Irish thing. We were chatting about it, so I said, well, I'll throw in an Irish thing. So I said, well, with this accent, it's very difficult to talk about Irish politics. But I think, here's what, for what it's worth, I think there should be one Ireland united under British rule. And there was there was like a pause, like the longest pause of my life, then a laugh, and then a very good humoured booze.
Woo! Down with that sort of thing.
Because it's that thing of like having this accent and feeling a bit Irish is a very weird thing. It was very odd when I came last year. I think the year before last, I was here, and on the Saturday afternoon, I went to the brilliant Irish Film Centre, the one in Temple Bar.
Great, IFI,
wonderful little cinema. Went to see The Wind That Shakes the Barley, Ken Loach. I just came out thinking, I'm the baddie. Oh no!
You're feeling very bad about
just
yourself.
such an amazing film, but going, I'd like to lose the accent a bit.
I got your book, by the way, Naked Jape, which it's very good. It's excellent. But you mentioned David Williams, and you mentioned we haven't mentioned him yet, but I saw YouTube footage of you on Jonathan Ross, and there's also Viz magazine. But I think people give you kind of a hard time. I think they pretend not to like you, but I think they do actually like you.
No, I think it's very, Jonathan's a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a bit showbiz going, my showbiz friends.
Yeah.
Well, of course it is.
But David Williams said, like most people, I hate Jimmy Carr, but this book is actually okay. That was the review on the back.
But we have like, amongst a few of us, we have like a competition for who can get the best quote on the back of someone else's book.
Ah, I see.
So mine was, I think, Rob Brydon did a book a few years ago, and my quote on the back of his book was, "This is the book his publisher's been waiting for." Which I really liked. But it's just an ongoing thing because, you always, I think, it's nice that friends kind of feel that, they can joke and mess around. And, certainly Viz, I think have had a long-standing thing. Yeah. But I see the Viz guys whenever I go to Newcastle. And I think it's a fabulous thing. It's very much kind of my age group, that kind of Viz thing.
It is, yeah. Although they even say themselves that it's kind of gone off of late. But they say it in a kind of a funny way that's kind of funny in itself.
They've been saying that since the second year of Viz.
Really?
Yeah, they started the second year of Viz, which was 30 years ago.
Not as good as it used to be.
Not as good as it used to be. It used to be brilliant.
So, obviously you're all about jokes. You're quick fire. How many jokes would you get through in a night? 291 in this tour show. God. And there's about 300 in the DVD. It's pretty tightly packed. And how do you remember them?
I do, but I've also, I'll always have like a little kind of notes somewhere on the stage. So I can just kind of look down and see what the next thing is. Because no one's coming for the memory trick. Yeah. No one's ever left a comedy show going, I didn't like any of the jokes, and he seems to be a humourless man, but what an incredible memory. Who cares? It's like if it's scribbled down somewhere. So yeah, you do have something to kind of help.
But there's a bit of, were you inspired in any way by Bob Monkhouse?
I liked Bob. I met him just before he died, and I did like him a lot. I liked the idea of doing a lot of jokes. I think he got given kind of a hard time. Yeah. He was seen as being a bit, because weirdly he was a very sentimental man and a very kind of caring man. I mean, his biography is really interesting book about a comedian, tears of a clown sort of thing. But he came across as just kind of super smarmy. Yeah. Sincerity. If you can fake that, you've got everything. But there's a weird sort of thing where he never came across as nice as he was. Which is weird. That's just a printer. I'm just printing out a couple of things. There's a couple of notes I have about Monkhouse that I like to print out around now. This really is a dog and pony show, isn't it?
But the whole idea, we're in somebody else's studio for this particular part for some reason, because you're so special, because it's your birthday. We were afraid fire regulations, all that kind of thing. You know what I mean, with the candles.
This isn't a studio. If you're listening to this, we're broadcasting from the back of a cab.